Hey, this is Jim. Welcome back to Silent Sales Machine Radio. Today I've got a guest who lives in Slovakia. His name is Joseph Biz, and he's actually been on the show before a couple years ago. And the last time we heard from him, we'll stick a link in the show notes actually to that episode. But the last time we heard from him, he had just left his full-time job because he was selling about $30,000 a month at the time on Amazon US. That's right. He lives in Slovakia and he sells products in the United States. He never sees or touches his products. He uses a prep partner, one of the prep partners in our prep network. We'll stick a free link to that prep network, by the way, in the show notes as well at silentjim.com. Just go to this episode and look for that link. But he's got this amazing business that's grown over the past couple of years. It hasn't been easy. He's had his ups and downs. He shares some of the challenges and some of the struggles he's faced, some of the scary moments even. But here we are 2 years later, and he's selling about $150,000 per month at about just under a 20% net, meaning he's putting around $25,000 to $30,000 in the bank after everybody's paid and all the bills are paid. Not a bad business model. And he's got a very flexible lifestyle. He's got 2 little ones at home with his wife, and they're just having a great time enjoying this flexible freedom of this business that they've created. But the thing that stands out to me about Joseph's story is the fact that, again, he's doing it from a foreign country. And anyone, like you've heard us say many times on this show and in our Facebook group, which is free, which just passed 64,000 members, by the way, 64,000 members at our My Silent Team Facebook group. Go to silentjim.com. You'll see a link there. You can jump in and join us. Great people like Joseph and others from around the world hang out there all day, every day. But the thing about it is he lives outside the United States. You hear us say all the time, it doesn't matter where you live. Yes, you're going to have unique challenges and struggles, but you'll also have unique advantages and opportunities based on where you live and based on every other life circumstance that you could easily use as an excuse to not launch your business. But why in the world are you ignoring the most successful e-commerce opportunity in the history of man? It's inarguable. The Amazon opportunity represents half of all internet-based transactions any given day in the United States. There's a lot of internet-based activity happening in the US every day. Half of it is on Amazon. That's pretty incredible. Don't ignore it. Joseph in Slovakia isn't ignoring it. He's built an incredible business. He's going to tell you about his business model, tell you about a couple guys that he's brought on, a couple friends of his that are helping him expand the business and how he's sharing the revenue with them. I love that part of his story. And I love his transparency too. And he actually addresses those of you who listen to this show and feel a little intimidated by all the success stories that you're hearing. And maybe you beat yourself up a little bit. Towards the end of our interview, he's got a special message just for you that he wants to share. And I thought it was fantastic. I loved that segment of the show today as well. So I'm very excited and proud to bring you my only friend in Slovakia. His name is Joseph Biz. I don't think I know anyone else from that country. So I've got one friend in Slovakia, and now you do too as well, as we welcome back to the show, Mr. Joseph. So Joseph, welcome back to the show, man.
Thanks for being back on the podcast.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Like you said, it's been 2 years. So a lot's happened. Get us filled in.
A lot of things have happened since that. Like I said, I watched the video from 2 years, and I had one baby then. I have 2 kids now, 2.5 and 6 months now. 2 years ago, it was exactly when I quit my daily job. I remember that. And because of that, we were able to move out of the capital city and move closer to our parents, where our parents live. So we moved out. We have a new place where we live now in Slovakia. And a lot of things have changed, a lot of ups and downs in the business. It has been an interesting ride those 2 years so far. Basically, I still remember 2 years ago, we were on a level where we were selling about 20 to 30,000 a month, and I decided to quit my daily job and just focus on the online business, basically. And I was doing well for a few months, and then it was an interesting story that we decided in July that let's go finally on some sunny vacation, because I didn't have many vacations before because I was working on a daily job and building Amazon business.
Right.
And so we went to Portugal for a week, and I was super happy because I was finally like, I'm gonna enjoy this lifestyle, right? Like selling online, I can be anywhere, and we're in the sunny Portugal having some family time with my family and friends, and I can watch and control in like 1 hour a day what's going on Amazon and see how the sales are going. And then right on the first day of our vacation, I woke up and I opened the computer, and suddenly I just looked, and for no reason, I mean, there's no explanation, Amazon decided to block 80% of our products, just blocking, like inactive, nothing, like no explanation, no nothing. And I was like, what is going on here? I couldn't. So I opened a lot of cases, no explanations whatsoever. It was just, we have the right to
Just
to block,
random.
and we
Just totally random.
And we restrict some sellers, and that's our right. And you just have to take your products and you do whatever we want with them. So suddenly, right on the first day of my vacation, we went from like 30,000 a month down to 10,000. And I was frustrated. I didn't know what to do. I was shocked, and I was like, "Is this really, really happening to me?" And we were trying to find out what is going on, writing on forums, asking friends, and just trying to find out why, because there was no reason, no explanation from Amazon. But we couldn't get any answer. There were some rumors that Amazon was restricting some products for European sellers, because we were still registered as a European seller selling on the US, but nobody could confirm that, what was going on. So then I just sat down and I was like, so what can we do now? Like I went from, down to 10,000 a month, from 30. But here's the great thing that you have mentioned on a couple of podcasts, is that once you have the skill, once you master the online arbitrage, and you can analyze the products and what's selling, what's not, you can get back pretty fast. You just have to find different products, and that's what I did actually. It took me 5 months to get back where I was. It just pushed me to go to different categories, different products that I was not that comfortable with before. And in the end, actually, after 6 months, Amazon allowed us to sell again those products that he restricted us 6 months
Happy
ago.
ending. Well,
So
but still, that doesn't explain why they limited you. Did you ever learn why that limitation was put in place?
No explanation, nothing. It was just, like we restrict number of sellers on these SKUs, and that was it. We never found out.
Did those products that were restricted, did they all have something in common?
Well, they were all books. That was just all what they had in common.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a book category, but nothing. I mean, it was strange because there were sellers with less reviews there, with worse reviews than us, and so on. So we didn't know, and we never got an explanation or nothing. But the thing is that I hated Amazon for that. I was like just so mad on them. But in the end, actually, they pushed me to go into categories and products that brought us later on many more products that we could sell. And after 6 months, we could still come back, and they allowed us to sell those products that they restricted. So in the end, it was a good lesson. I hated them at that time for sure, but it helped in general, actually, in the end.
Well, you see that baby bird getting kicked out of the nest analogy
in
in business and in life. I mean, your own kids, there's a degree of that. Like, hey, I love you, but it's time for you to get out and do your own thing. That's a hard lesson, and sometimes it comes in a very unjust way. But it amazes me, Joseph, the number of people that I meet and talk to, and I'm one of them. This was my story. It's been my story at several different points where you get that big, bad, scary news, and it really rattles you, and it makes you question, like, wow, am I on the right path? But then you look
Mhm.
over your shoulder 6 to 9 months later, typically. That's about what it
Mhm.
takes. 6 to 9 months later, you look over your shoulder and you say, wow, what a blessing that was. It could be a relationship that ends,
Mhm.
a breakup of a hard breakup, or a job that you lose, or an opportunity on Amazon, just whatever it is, a circumstance that hits you. You look over your shoulder like, wow, I'm so much stronger now. I'm taking things more seriously now. I'm more disciplined. I'm a better person now. And like you said, sometimes all of it comes back too. And so you're just all that better. It's, biblically, it's the story of Job almost. It's like, you get pounded down and then it all comes back. And that's life. It's like that sometimes. So you have the choice. And congratulations to you. You didn't just say, oh, forget it, man. This isn't worth it. You stuck with it. And now you're bigger than you were before, and you're doing even bigger numbers, and your team has grown, and we're going to get into all of that. But I just want to say congratulations, and there's a little life
Thank
lesson in
you.
there for sure that I think is very
It
valuable.
was a hard one for sure, but
Oh,
in the end, I was like, well, that's good because it pushed us to the categories and product that
yeah.
otherwise we would probably not get into.
Yeah,
We would
if you
just
persist,
stay
it's
where we
just a
felt
matter of
comfortable
time.
with.
It's just a matter of time before it
Yeah,
swings back around. Because Amazon is worth
yeah,
sticking around for, is the moral of this story. And I'm glad you did. Well, I want to hear more about how
yeah.
your business has grown and changed despite the speed bump that threw you off track for a short time. And that all happened a couple of years ago. Is that correct? You said?
That was right when I quit my day job,
Yeah.
and
Went
so
full
so I
time,
quit my
took a
day.
vacation.
Yeah,
So two
yeah, I
years
went
ago.
full time in like March, April 2 years ago, and right in July, that happened. So
Wow.
uh, yeah, but in the end, I mean, it was good that I quit my day job at that time because it happened in July. I didn't have any other choice. I was like, I'm full time. I have to I have to find a way.
Right.
There's no other way, to
That's
so.
fantastic. So what are you selling now? And are you still just in the US market, or have you expanded? And tell us about your team. Let's dive into the
We
rest of the details.
we we sell a lot of different products still. We don't do any private label. We still use online arbitrage, but right now we went more into working directly with the brands and buying from distributors or brands directly. We sell US, Canada, and Mexico as well. Amazon gave us the opportunity to be part of the NARF program, North America Remote Fulfillment. So our listings are listed to Canada and Mexico as well. So we see orders from there as well. We did test some of the products also in Europe, in UK, and in Germany as well. But we still had so much work to do and so many products in US that we didn't even have a time and capacity to build the European part yet. So, but I'm looking for one more person to join the team. So hopefully that person will be able to work on that. So right now we sell on those, mainly on those three markets: US, Mexico, and Canada. We sell a lot of different products from different brands. I mean, from home and kitchen, groceries. Pet products. Still some books. We sell a variety of different products. A lot of. Pretty much anything that
Sure.
makes sense and customers like. So we
Yeah.
don't do any we don't do any private label because I'm not the product guy. When I have somebody in my team that is passionate about creating the product and building and marketing, then maybe I will leave this part on him or her. But right now we just work directly with brands or distributors or doing online arbitrage, and we just resell basically. So that's what we do. We currently average about 150,000 a month, and still growing. And yeah, that's where we are standing right now.
And just so we don't forget, what's your margins? What's your ROI on that 150? If you don't mind sharing.
In general, we make about I would say 18-19% profit margin before taxes. So after all the expenses and everything. So it's a little bit lower than some people have, but we have products that we sell in bigger quantities. So we are okay with less margin if we sell more pieces of that.
Right. And how many listings do you have? How many ASINs active?
I think now not more than 100 actually.
You're 100, so you're doing 150K on 100 ASINs. That's pretty good.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of ASINs.
That's
we went
some
down.
high volume ASINs.
We used to have about 300, but then I wanted to get rid of them because it was so much work and they were bringing very little profit. So we went down to about 100, and so we could focus on them, and so we could focus what's was actually profiting and what's bringing money. So we don't have many SKUs actually.
So you're making over 25, less than $30,000 a month in the bank, basically before taxes, on $150,000 of activity on 100 ASINs, and that's after your team is paid.
Yeah. That's all the expenses. Everything is paid before taxes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is a nice arrangement. And just to remind everyone, you're doing this from Slovakia, meaning you never touch or see your products, correct?
No. No. We're still laughing with my wife. Like she comes once in a while because she's not involved in a business at all. And she comes once in a while and she asks me, like, can you show me what are you selling now? So I show her all the products and she's asking me, what is this for? And what is this for?
You're like, I don't know.
Sometimes,
but it's got a good
Sometimes I tell her, I don't know. It's in this category, but I don't actually know.
Right. I've never seen it. I don't even know what it necessarily is used for, but
yeah,
here's the Keepa chart, right?
Yeah, here's the Keepa chart, and it sells. It shows it sells. So we'll see.
Right. That's beautiful. What a great business. And how big is your team?
Not that big, actually. I have two great guys that work with me here in Slovakia. Both of them are very good friends of mine, and both of them still have their daily jobs. But I was doing this business alone for some time, and then I was thinking it would be probably more fun if we could be, if I could have more people working with me. So I spoke with them, and we found an arrangement that we share a profit from the products that they find and we sell, and we work on those projects or on those accounts together, but we split the profit certain way. So they make their money and I make the money as well.
Talk me through that arrangement a little bit. I want to hear some of the numbers, what percent they get. So they're, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're finding new ASINs, right?
Pretty much their job, or how we arranged it was that that I told them I will teach you all this, like how to find the products, what to look for on Keepa chart. I will help you to learn how to list the products and everything, so you are able to find the products or companies later that we could work with. And when we buy, you will send me those products. I will look and tell you this will sell or this will not sell based on my experience. And we buy the products. Everything runs under my account.
Okay.
And we use all the softwares that are already paid in the company and everything. So they don't have to worry about softwares, accounting, insurance, nothing.
Right.
And we actually split the profit 50-50. So in the end, actually, they actually make more money than what's left for the company because we cover all the expenses, for the software and everything. But
so it's 50-50 before expenses even calculated.
Yes.
They get
Yes,
half
that's
the
correct.
money Amazon sends you, basically.
Sorry?
They get half of the money Amazon sends you for any given ACE.
We calculate the profit, in the end of each month, we
Sure.
calculate
After
the profit
after the
for each
product cost.
product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We deduct the product cost and the cost for the prep company, for the shipping, and we see what's the profit, and then we split it 50-50.
Right.
You know.
Right. So actually, if you were to factor in the other expenses, they should be getting like 35 or 40% maybe, because like you said, software, insurance, all the other expenses that you're absorbing. But that's a great deal. And I think a lot of people are going to be intrigued by how you're doing it, because a lot of people want to grow a team. They want to get people out there working with them, but they don't necessarily want to create competitors in the
Mhm.
area. This is a good way to work with some friends, bring them in part time. They can work as much as they want or as little as they want, create an income stream for themselves. And you're just the one that educates them. And you've gone through all the hard knocks of getting the account set up and getting the category approval and getting your hazmat certification or whatever is involved, right? And all they have to do is find new ASINs
Yeah, I know,
and
and
create a
also,
profit.
if you want to have like this case, I mean, the last case, we were able to partner with one big account, that they have, let's say, 30 SKUs, and each SKUs, easily sells 80 to 60 to 80 pieces a month. So there is a big volume there. But that company would never work with the smaller seller. That they were asking me for the, like the proof, the accounting papers, the balance sheet, profit and loss statement to see if we have the money, if we don't have any debt, and so on. So, and we were able to work with them. Now we work with them and we still split the profit. But if there was no company behind, with already some proven record on Amazon reviews and so on, they would not be able to sign those companies, or sign this company. So they would have to start from the beginning. But I told them both, like, anytime you guys decide to go away, you can freely do it. We can still be friends. You can start your own business if you want. Just products that we were working on till now in the business will stay here, because we were working on them under the company, so
Right.
they will stay here. But if you want to take the skills you have and just start your own business on Amazon, just do it. Feel free to do it. Anytime you want. So
Yeah.
I gave them the option, like, we can work on together on the projects. You will have the backup and the software and the money and all those benefits, or you can go ahead, and if you feel like you want to use that for your own business, we can still do it.
Yeah. And you're using your money to buy the products, correct?
Well, they help in some cases. We
Okay.
found if that was a bigger deal, we agreed that they will kind of borrow the money to the company, and they will just sit there until we work together. Once they
Right.
decide to leave, they will get the money back.
They take some of the risk on the inventory buys then on the products
Yeah,
they
yeah.
find.
So
That makes total sense.
it's good to have step or your feet in the business as well. You
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah. They
you are
have
in the
they have a
business.
little bit of you're sharing the risk a little bit with them. So they've absorbed some of that. That's fantastic. I love it. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful model, all kinds of potential. I'm sitting here thinking of, are there any good reasons why you wouldn't want to do what you just described? And I'm keeping in mind too, you're doing this from Slovakia, like, and you're selling in the United States. I'm imagining about 80-90% of your sales, even though you go Canada and Mexico, 80 to
I
90% are
would
US, correct?
I would say 90 are in US
Okay.
still.
Just off the top of my head, I was doing some quick, but
Yeah.
so you're
Even
selling
maybe
in the US.
95 are in US. I
Yeah.
would say that maybe
Yeah.
5% are like Canada and Mexico. Yeah.
Sure. Sure. But you're doing it from Slovakia with a team of friends who live locally, and you've taught them how to source online. You send your products to a prep partner. And how many prep partners do you use? Just one, or do you have a handful?
We only have one. That one, worked for us well for some time now. But since we have direct accounts now, we are able to work with them, and they ship some of the products directly to Amazon warehouses. So
Okay. So you've gone to some of your distributors' wholesalers on some of your more popular products and said, "Hey, will you slap a label on the boxes and don't ship them to me, ship them to
No,
Amazon?"
we don't let them do the job. We let the Amazon to label the products.
Ah, okay.
We just ask them to put the shipping. We wanted to make it as much simple for them as possible because
Sure.
they don't want to have the extra work.
Yeah.
So we told them, put the boxes here or put the boxes on a pallet. Just put this label on the boxes and just ship it.
Right.
And we let Amazon to label the products.
Has that worked out well for you? I don't talk to many sellers. I know a good handful in our community do this, but I haven't talked to a lot lately who have Amazon doing the prep for them. Is that going well?
So far, it does. I mean, it takes a little bit more time because they receive the products, they label. Of course, they make some mistakes. Like they put the wrong label. So we had to, like, I think once we had to take back to the prep center the products and relabel ourselves and so on. But if we think about how much cost we save by sending to the prep center and sending back to Amazon, if we can ship directly from the supplier to Amazon and they label it for a small fee, it's a big cost saver. We use Prep Center as well a lot because some of the distributors come and say like, no, we have our system and we will not be using your labels. We just want to use our labels, and they will not change it.
Sure.
So we have to ship it to the Prep Center, and Prep Center has to ship it to.
So the product's getting shipped more than would be necessary if you could go straight to Amazon.
Yeah, that's exactly. But they don't want to change their system.
Right.
So
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe as you get more volume, you'll have a little more leverage. Maybe you can fly to America and talk to them or wherever you're sourcing from. Like, hey guys, come on, work with me.
But it still helps a lot. We still use a lot the Prep Center.
Sure.
Because we, like I said, we still source online arbitrage products. There are still distributors that don't want to ship it directly to Amazon, and different reasons. So we have one Prep Center that we need for, and they also fulfill our direct orders if we need. So that's good.
So you're doing some FBM with them as well.
We've done that as well. Yes.
Yeah. Merchant fulfill.
Now with one of the brand that we work with, we're going to test a new product, and we don't want them to ship to the customers. So we ask them to ship it to the Prep Center, and we'll also sell on the Walmart marketplace as well. We started a few months ago. So we list it there, and we will let the Prep Center to ship it to the customers as well. So,
that's fantastic. I love it. So you're getting into Walmart now too. I didn't realize that. How's that going?
Very well, actually. We started only with one brand because that brand was doing very well on the Amazon, and we worked directly with them. So we were thinking, let's open the Walmart. Let's create the listings for them on Walmart, and let's see how it goes. And because it was doing well on Amazon, logically there were some pieces starting to sell on Walmart as well. So it's been pretty good. Yeah, slow start, but once people got used to it, they were buying on Walmart as well.
That's a really good arrangement. So tell me, I want to dig into that relationship a little bit. This company, are you the only seller that they're working with?
No, not on Amazon. We're actually two of us.
There's two of you
there. Two of us. Yes.
Are they?
But on Walmart, we are the only one actually.
Are they limiting it to just you and the other seller? Or are they open to other sellers? I'm just curious how protected your relationship is.
Yeah, it was with this one. It was very interesting because we started to buy the products using online arbitrage, so buying and just reselling. And then I kind of forced my friend, the one that worked with me, like write them that we want to work with them directly. And he was kind of hesitant, it's okay, no. But I forced him, so he did. But if I remember correctly, he actually wrote them that we buy from their website, and they get back to us, and they were very angry actually that we do that, because for they don't like it, for some reason. But in the end, we started to talk and to see where they sell and so on. He told us that they already have a partner on Amazon and so on, but we saw that they have different sellers there on Amazon. So we asked them, so how about we sell your products on Walmart marketplace? And he said, okay, like if you want to sell Walmart, then fine. But in the end, we agreed, like, okay, well, then let's do this. Let's do Walmart and Amazon at the same time. We will have products in Amazon and selling on Walmart. So in the end, we end up partnering and selling on both. Like Walmart and Amazon as well.
That's great.
So
and there's really, there's a lot of noise in the marketplace that says if a brand doesn't want you selling on Amazon, they could stop you. And while that's true sometimes, the vast majority of the time, it's just not true. They don't have the resources or the time, and the law is not even actually on their side. Amazon's rules aren't even necessarily on the side of the brand. In some cases, it's not worth the hassle. And we actually teach our students, if the brand is selling its own product on Amazon, you probably want to stay away from it because they'll make your life miserable. But a lot of times it's just a matter of you pick up the phone, build a little relationship and say, hey, we'll protect your MAP pricing, minimum advertised pricing. We'll protect it. We're not going to go into the basement. We're going to create a great customer experience. We'd love to be able to sell your products here. And there's a good number of things. Have you been through the PPP module by any chance inside the Proven Amazon course? Do you know what I'm talking about there, Joseph?
Yeah, long time ago, but I went.
It's been updated recently since you probably went through it. There's about 15 things that you could tell your supplier, things that you could do for them that they just can't do for themselves. That could bring value to where they're going to love working with you. And one of the things you could do is say, hey, you know what? Let's set you up on Amazon. You sell all the products yourself on Amazon. The check comes straight to you. And I just get a % of that check. And I want to really help it blow up. I'm going to talk about the marketing and the images, get some off Amazon traffic coming to your listings, get them boosted. And now you've kind of got part ownership of another Amazon account. You're diversifying. That's the strategy there. I think you're set up very well to possibly pitch that option to this company.
We have already one, or actually few. That one is in here in Europe as well. That they wanted to get on the UK market. That got little complicated because of the Brexit and because of the VAT registrations. So we changed it to the German market, and we have a few actually that we are trying to work on. But I'll get back to one of the things that you mentioned, that the brand can stop you selling on Amazon, because we had a lot of times the situation where we received the IP complaints from the brands directly. And that was one of the story that I have is that we started to buy from a distributor, and so officially from a distributor that has official products. And I didn't know at that time, but I ordered, let's say, already like right away $2,000 worth of products. Right on the first day, I received an IP complaint and from a brand. So I gave Amazon all the papers and everything. IP complaint was removed. Another day, same IP complaint. So I tried to contact the brand and everything. They never responded, nothing, So it was removed again, the IP complaint. So it was really hard. They just wanted to get us out. Didn't want to talk to us at all. So we even hired a lawyer that is specializing in this to write a paper to that brand. They didn't even respond to that at all. So in the end, it was hard because we had to lose the products and return to the distributor that was trying to help us, but they charged us a restocking fee, and it was hard for like 6 months. But in the end, our relationship with that distributor is very good now because he's a good guy. We had that mess together. because he was not able to work this thing with the brand. I asked him for help with the brand. They didn't want to talk to him. So, but now I still buy the products from him, and we are good friends, buying other products.
You
So
buy different products.
yeah, different products.
You will run into those products. There's a few categories that kind of have that reputation, a few brand names that have that reputation. Typically, the bigger brand names, more well recognized.
But I had the chance with this to find out with this distributor that he's a good guy and he just wanted to do a business. Now we do a good business together. I still buy different products with him. He see that we were a serious company. We didn't want to do nothing bad, nothing wrong. So again, good thing comes out from this, even though.
Yeah. Well, relationships, you've got a new relationship. You went through a struggle together and you sent back $2,000 with a product and he had to charge you a restocking fee. There's back and forth challenge there. But in the end, you've got a new friend and partner in the business that you can work with. And, he knows you're honest, he's honest, and that's worth a lot. Is this a US based or was this this was one of the UK guys? Wasn't it?
No, it's US based. Yeah.
US based. Okay. Well, that's great. But what else can you share from your story and what you've learned the last couple of years? I think this is a very encouraging story. You do it so naturally, and you've just kind of overcome the hurdles as they've come at you. But one of the questions we get around here, Joseph, constantly, I would say not quite daily, but pretty close to it, because we have thousands of students, right? They'll say, well, this is great if you live in the United States. The stuff you teach is great, Jim, if you live in the US. But if you live outside of the United States, it just can't be done. And I start rattling off the names of people, and you're on that list, that are building incredible businesses. You're doing $150,000 a month in sales, 90% of which is in the US.
Yeah.
You never see or touch your products, right? So let's give those people some confidence that live other places around the world that they can do this.
Well, if we speak about like European people or outside the US people, I mean, of course, there are some challenges that people living in the US don't have. I mean, like that's logical. They mainly come from technical issues, like not having the US billing address on the cards, and the websites, some of the websites, they don't accept that. Then also like the accounting is a little bit of mess because it's European, US, and other things. So there are some challenges, because I had in the past few months, I had a lot of people writing me on Facebook and asking me like how to deal with the prep center, how to deal with the card, credit card, debit card, how to deal with the banking and other things. So there are those technical challenges that you just have to accept them and find a way how to work with them until you start making profit and you decide to, open an entity in US, which makes sense later on. That's what I did. I was running everything on my European, address and name and everything for about 2.5 years, almost 3 years, and then I opened the corporation in US. And then we moved everything under the US corporation, which was which made sense at that time already, because we were making profit and money. But if I decided to do that at the beginning, I would get stuck, with opening the company and finding like how does this work in US? And I don't even know how to make profit, and I have to, now find a way how to run the company, or accounting and other things in US. So there are some of those technical challenges that we have to overcome because we are not in the US, but it's not something that I think it's all we can solve all those issues, or we can find a way around them. My brother is also selling on Amazon from Slovakia as well, and he doesn't have an entity in the US, yet now, and he's able to do online arbitrage and buy products from different websites. And when I ask him like how is he doing, he always says like, yeah, there are some websites that don't accept our cards, or there are some other issues, and hey, I just go to and find another website that does.
Right. Sure. And now that you have a prep partner, do you ever have them place orders for you?
Place orders. What do you mean by
To
placing?
place an order, like in the US, if they said, "Oh, we see you're from Slovakia and you're trying to order from a US manufacturer, could you have your prep partner place the order for you?" Or have you ever had to do anything creative like that to get an order placed?
No, no, I didn't have to. No,
Never had to. See,
no,
I'm not
no.
as familiar with those challenges that come with living
I
outside
am.
the US because my operation's right here, right?
I had to overcome them. So I am. Yeah, that's why people are fighting to me because
Sure.
you know
Well,
it's logical. If you're in US, I mean, you are not aware of those challenges,
sure.
but there are those challenges, especially with like the card and the billing address, because people don't know how to yet find the products, and if you limit them number of websites that they can buy, it's also a little bit more
It's
frustrating for
frustrating.
them.
Sure. You know what I
Yeah.
think we
So
need to do, Joseph? This podcast has grown considerably since the last time you were on. And I'm a little nervous now. Your inbox is going to be flooded. And please
I
don't feel obligated to respond to all those messages because I know you've got a big heart, but nobody has that kind
I
of time in their day. But we need to organize a
I
way to get you on the team in some advisory capacity or as a coach or a coach advisor of some kind. And, because you're among a handful of guys that have really kind of grown up with us over the years and have grown a pretty special business outside of the United States, selling in the United States. And we rely very heavily on the knowledge that's in your head, the problems you've already solved, and rather
yeah,
than responding to people one at a time, let's package that up somehow, maybe create a course or some content or something together. And
yeah.
what else do you want to share with the listeners? Anything else on your mind before we start to wrap this one up?
Let me see my notes because I was just writing yesterday, like like what's changed in those 2 years.
Yeah, sure.
And I put some notes here. I mean, there's a lot of things that's going to happen, or that happened to us as well on the road during those 2 years. But one thing that I started to see between people and in a group as well is that for a lot of people sharing the success stories of people that started to make money very quickly on Amazon is very frustrating, and they're kind of they don't comment, and they just start to question themselves, like, what am I doing wrong if
Right.
that person started to sell $20,000-$30,000 a month in like 3 months or 4 months, and they struggle with finding like one or two products to resell. And
Great
I
topic.
remember,
Yeah. What would you say to those folks who are struggling because of, they see all the success stories, but they know they're
well,
not
I
one of them
remember the
yet?
time 2 years ago on the podcast I mentioned to you that I used to sell books door to door in US
Mm-hmm.
for 5 years,
That's
and
right.
there was one great lesson that they taught us there, and that's like they used to say that comparison is a thief of joy. Like, because there is always somebody who's going to be doing better than you, and somebody's going to do worse than you. But if you look at the people that just those people that are doing better and better than you, and you kind of compare yourself, it's gonna steal the happiness from the improvement that you're making if you're working on your job. I always say, like, I didn't make almost any money on Amazon for 2 years. I was just selling, made some money, lost some money, and so on. So I would just suggest to people to look at the success stories and people that do well, but just don't compare with them, because everybody has a different background, different time capacity, different experience. Everything is different. So learn from them, but don't be frustrated when somebody's doing better than you. Just compete with yourself and just make it a little better every day than the day before. But just don't, just it just needs persistence and just to work step by step. But don't be hard on yourself if you're not selling $100,000 a month your second month
I,
on
I,
Amazon.
I totally agree. I'm a big fan of the message of the tortoise and the hare too, slow and steady progress in the right direction. I'm much more interested in your trajectory than I am in your speed or location.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? The direction you're heading, even if it's slow, What direction are
Yeah.
you heading in? That's what matters, not how fast you're going or where you are right now. And when you start comparing yourself to people who maybe went a little faster and started a little longer ago than you did, or maybe they just started a couple months ago and they passed you already. Well, you just don't know their circumstances, their relationships. They've got some sources maybe you don't have accessible to you, or maybe they're just out hustling you. But I love your
Yeah.
message of learn from them. Don't be discouraged by that. What can I learn from that person? Can I be inspired by that person? I certainly don't want to compare myself though and say, well, they're doing so much better. I guess I'm a failure, because then you're allowing other people's success to be a source of discouragement for you. And that's not a good place to be at all.
Yeah.
That's a bad place to be. I only want to spend time with people who are achieving less than me in life, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to be there.
No, 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 for sure not. But it's hard to, your mind is sometimes going against you. So, but you just have to understand that if you are not there yet, and other people are there where you want to be, it just takes some time and persistence. Don't get frustrated, or you're not wrong or bad, or it just takes some time for things to click for you. And
Right.
everybody has a different speed level and everything.
Yeah.
So
Patience.
I just want to encourage
Yep.
people not to be hard on them.
That's great. I love it, Joseph. You very well said. It's a great thing to add into this episode for sure. Because you'd be one of those intimidating figures to some people. I love that you said you spent significant time not making money and learning the business, and you had Amazon turn off 2/3 of your products randomly the first day
Yeah,
of your first vacation.
don't know
I
why.
wish you would have called me, or let me know. We would have done whatever we could to help you, and like we do for all of our coaching students and our community as much as we can. We're here, man. But yeah, those weird things can happen, but that's comes with
As in
being a
every
business owner. That's the part they don't tell you, is like, hey, you're out there and responsible for this whole thing. There's a lot of little things that can go wrong. That's why I call people business building warriors when they choose to go down this path. You need a
yeah,
warrior's mentality. You really do. But the rewards are worth it, would you say?
they are for sure. I mean, it's the time that you can spend with, you can decide where and how you want to spend your time. I think the biggest benefit. It's not easy. You have to work on it, but the benefits are, just great. It never came to my mind like I want to go back to the regular job. No,
Hmm.
doesn't matter how frustrating it was, or how many issues we had, or so. I was like never like, oh, I want to go back to the daily job. No.
Right. Right. I bet your income has gone up considerably since then as well.
Well, it did, but for me, of course, we are. There are different types of people. For me, I never started this business to, in this mind, with this idea in mind, like, okay, I'm gonna build like huge, business
Oh, sure.
corporation with so many people making millions. I'm actually, I started the business to enjoy the business as well. So we grow, we make good money. We are happy with the money we make, and we still will grow because we will work on the business. And as long as we work, we will grow. So, but we are not pushing like, oh, we need 10 more clients till, end of the, like this month, or why we are not having such an increase and so on. No, as long as we are doing better than we were doing, I'm okay. We
That's
also want to enjoy the business,
Yeah,
in the
that's
time.
great. Yeah, you
And
got you got to
we
be in a
already,
growth mindset, but you don't have to be in a constantly conquering massive new goals every quarter mindset. There's a difference in there. I love the
yeah,
pace. Pace
yeah.
is a word we don't use very often in business, but
Mhm.
you've got a nice pace to your business model, and you've proven yourself over the long haul with the challenges. You've surrounded yourself with a team. You're hitting it every day, but you're not working yourself into the ground. You're staying healthy and enjoying your family. So great job, man. It's
That,
really good
that,
getting
that,
caught up with
that
you.
was the plan. That was the plan.
Yeah.
To build something that we could also enjoy, because I hated those my jobs where there was so much pressure on targets and making more money and making more money and making more money. And we are making money, but if people ask me like are you like how is the work? I'm like, work is great. I mean, we don't push like we are not working 20 hours a day and going crazy. No, we work, we improve, and as long as we work, we will have better results.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
that's great. Well, anything else on your notepad that you wanted to be sure to get out before we start to wrap this one up, Joseph?
No, I think, I mean, that comparison was the one thing that I wanted to mention for sure,
Time well
because
spent.
that's the mindset thing is very important in this business, because you're going to do well, but you're going to have the issues as well. So just be persistent, and it's going to be okay. It's
Yeah.
going to do well.
Yeah, it is. Every challenge you run into will resolve. One of the, maybe this is a time, it's been a while since I talked about this issue, but you hear the stories of accounts being suspended, or, people losing their business. Oh no, this is terrible. Well, I know industry experts. I've talked to the people at Amazon in this department. Way over 95%, probably more like 98 or 99% of all accounts that get suspended get reinstated. It's just a matter of time. And what they're doing is Amazon's blocking thousands. At the point I talked to them, they were saying tens of thousands of scam accounts that have been set up. And they're blocking them all day, every day, trying to keep the user experience viable, right?
Well,
And sometimes the good guys get caught in the net, and it takes a little time to get them out, and that's okay. That's just part of it. But it's certainly no reason to say, "Oh, I can't do Amazon because I could get it suspended." No, permanent suspensions. I can count on one hand the number of permanent suspensions I've seen teaching this stuff for 12, 15 years. And with thousands and thousands of students, it just doesn't happen. And in the cases where it did happen, they just kind of gave up and like, I'm done with this. Amazon asked them for some documents and they said, I don't even want to mess with it. Well, that's why you didn't get reinstated, because you didn't go through the process. So the point is, like you said earlier, when you lost 60, 70% of your ASINs and overnight, and Amazon said, nope, you can't sell this stuff anymore. Eventually it comes around. There's a way around it, through it, over it, under it. If you got a team, if you got some creativity, if you've got the stomach for it, you'll get past it. You'll be okay. And that's what you just, it'll be okay. It will be. You just got to stick with it, be persistent. So I appreciate your heart and your attitude, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure working with you. We're going to figure out a way to plug you in a little bit more around here. I think you're going to be a very popular guy after this episode. So eager to see where this goes. But let me just talk to the listeners for a second, Joseph, and say, hey, thank you all for hanging out with Joseph and I today, my buddy in Slovakia. I think I have a total of one friend in Slovakia, and it's this guy. I don't know anyone else from Slovakia. So haven't even met your wife yet.
You'll have more. As we bring more into business, then you'll have more.
Sure. But it's just super cool having you around, man, and having all the listeners hanging out with us today and the viewers. If you don't mind, if you enjoyed Joseph today, give us a thumbs up, leave us a review on whatever podcast listening apps that you're using, or if you're on YouTube, you know what to do, follow us and all of that. We sure appreciate that, because our marketing budget for this show is a big fat $0. So the only way we get new listeners is from you sharing this with other people. So send your friends to silentjim.com. Tell them to check out that podcast, subscribe. And we'll keep hitting you with these great inspirational stories. But like Joseph said, don't let it discourage you when you see other people succeeding. Learn from those people, be inspired by them, and set a course to be where they are someday, on your own plan and in your own time, of course. But set a course, set that trajectory. I think that was some good stuff today on that topic. So God bless all the business building warriors. And you, Joseph, thank you, sir, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure seeing you again. We'll have you back again soon with another update, I'm sure. And we'll have another episode for all the listeners and viewers again real soon as well. Until then, thanks for watching.